Scary moments like these. This. And other incidents that should never have happened. Nobody in that church expected to become part of 2 viral clips. The first woman was just sitting quietly when the priest walked closer, and her body reacted in a way that didn't make sense. She rose slightly, shouted, then bolted for the door. People nearby froze, unsure if they'd really seen what they thought they saw. The second case happened in Romania, during what was meant to be a private exorcism. The woman's body snapped backward in a sharp, unnatural motion before she went limp. Both moments were caught by people who weren't trying to film something shocking. They thought they were recording prayer. New room, same demon. She didn't set the camera to go viral. She set it because the same demon kept following her to every new apartment. In the middle of the night, her body slowly lifted off the bed. She wakes up every morning with no memory of it. Looking closely at her eyes, they also seem strange. So, what do you think about this clip? Let me know in the comments. Unexpected moment.
Have mercy.
In the name of Jesus Christ.
In this unsettling clip recorded somewhere in the Vatican, a woman was about to get baptized when the camera recorded something shocking. She suddenly got thrown backward by something no one could see. The priest never touched her. It looked like an invisible wall had pushed her away from him. Everyone nearby froze, realizing they were watching something they could not explain. She later recovered, but the way her body had moved on its own was unsettling. I did find out she got baptized successfully afterwards. Paranormal activity? On their very first night in a new house, a couple had their security cameras running for peace of mind. They had no idea they were about to record the reason they would never sleep there again. Chairs slid across the floor on their own. Doors slammed shut. Then the husband got shoved backward by nothing visible. Watching the footage later made it worse. The movements happened in sequence, like something was forcing them out. They did not stay long after that. Some houses did not welcome new owners. Levitation on couch. A woman had fallen asleep on her couch while her home camera recorded the living room. In the middle of the night, her body slowly lifted off the cushions. The movement looked steady, not sudden, like something had raised her a few inches and held her there. Her dog reacted immediately, barking and pacing in panic. She woke up confused and dropped back onto the couch. When she watched the footage later, the timing felt wrong. The lift happened before the dog made a sound, like something unseen had entered the room first. Morgue horror. Two doctors were working the night shift in a hospital morgue, handling a new case that had arrived 6 hours earlier. While inside the refrigeration unit, a freezer drawer suddenly slid open on its own, startling them. Moments later, what had just arrived also moved, leaving both in sheer panic. Unable to explain what they had witnessed, the doctors spent the rest of the night anxiously waiting for sunrise. The terrifying experience stayed with them long after, and soon after, both resigned, unwilling to return to a place where the dead didn't stay still. Strange figure. In a narrow neighborhood of Banyuwangi, Indonesia, a resident spotted a figure walking near an apartment complex late at night. At first, he assumed it was a tenant returning home, but the way she moved felt wrong. Her posture, her pace, everything seemed unnatural. Unsure of what he was witnessing, he kept his distance and began recording instead. He zoomed in, trying to get a better look while staying safe. The footage left viewers questioning what they had seen. Possession tragedy. In Pakistan, a possession case shocked a small community. A woman had been taken over by a demon, and an Islamic scholar tried to intervene, reciting verses to drive it away. The people around watched as the verses seemed to disturb the entity inside her. Despite all efforts, the situation ended, and she passed away. The incident left those present deeply unsettled. It was a chilling reminder that sometimes, no matter how strong the faith or how determined the intervention, some forces feel beyond human control, leaving only questions and fear in their wake. The Cage Seance. They thought the cameras were just there to document a routine session inside the cage. The group sat in the dark, calm at first, until the woman leading the seance suddenly went quiet. Her face tightened, her eyes seemed to shift, and the room felt heavier. CCTV apparition. A homeowner had checked his CCTV after hearing loud banging at his door late at night. The footage showed what looked like a human body standing outside, striking the door again and again, then standing still before fading from view. The owner said the activity had started the same day his sister passed away. Neighbors believed something else had followed her, pointing to rituals she had once been involved in. That's all the information I have on this incident. If you know something, let me know in the comments. What was this figure? Distorted Wanderer. After his dogs kept barking at something outside, a man checked his home security footage, and what he saw was terrifying. A humanoid figure appeared, wearing tattered clothes with limbs far longer than normal, moving in a way that seemed impossible. Locals whispered that he had been possessed, wandering endlessly in a grotesque, distorted form. The footage captured every unsettling movement, leaving the man, and anyone who watched it, wondering what exactly they had just seen. Officer's scary encounter. Officers reviewing CCTV couldn't believe what they saw. A girl was walking alone on a deserted road late at night when a blurry, shadowy figure appeared behind her. It trembled, flickered, and then suddenly changed direction before vanishing into the dark valley. No one could explain its sudden presence or disappearance. The footage left everyone questioning what really walked that road. Ghostly parkour. After a new store opened in a quiet neighborhood, a passerby noticed an employee moving along the outdoor light fixtures. At first, it seemed like normal stunts, maybe parkour. But then the impossible happened. As the man jumped toward the next light, he passed straight through it, as if his body wasn't solid. The person filming froze, unsure what they had just seen. When the clip went online, viewers were quick to say this wasn't human behavior. Do you agree? Doorbell licker. A homeowner had checked his security footage after noticing odd alerts during the night. The video showed a man walking up to the front door and placing his mouth on the doorbell camera. It did not stop after a few seconds. He stayed there for nearly 3 hours, slowly repeating the same motion, never reacting to passing cars or porch lights turning on. Just before the footage ended, he simply walked away. Shadow in Chile. On the 2nd of January, 2026, a resident in Chile was organizing a storage locker outside his home when he captured something unsettling. For days, he had felt like he wasn't alone and heard strange sounds. That's when he noticed a dark shape partially hidden under a tree. The video, later shared online, showed the figure standing completely still in the shadows. Its form was unclear, but its presence felt undeniably wrong. Was it a person, something else, or an unexplained entity? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Let's see which one of you makes the most sense. Unseen force. Night duty was already draining for a security guard, but his shift took a terrifying turn. While sitting at his post, a piece of clothing fell from a rack. He ignored it at first, but moments later, something unseen grabbed his foot and yanked him from the chair. He shouted in shock, terrified. The camera revealed no one nearby. Shaken, he resigned the very next day. Later, co-workers mentioned that the store's first owner had died inside the building years before, and some believed his presence never truly left. The footage became a chilling memory no one could explain. Thermal cam capture. A man was getting constant nightmares, so his family set up a thermal camera to record him while he slept. When they reviewed the thermal footage, something stood beside his bed. A dark, human-shaped figure remained close to his body, leaning toward him through the night. It never touched him, never moved away. He had slept through it, unaware. Watching the clip back changed how he felt about every night after. The nightmares suddenly made sense. Let me know in the comments how he can save himself from this demonic figure. Plastic Face Man.
طقوس ايش بتعمل؟
He went in expecting dust and empty rooms. Instead, deep inside an abandoned building in Mexico, he found someone already there. A man stood in the corner with his face wrapped in plastic, hands moving like he wanted to say something without words. The YouTuber froze, heart clearly pounding, unsure if he was being warned to leave or asked for help. The camera kept rolling because panic does that to you. The man never chased him. He just stood there, watching. That's what makes this clip so unsettling, because the YouTuber didn't go looking for trouble, but trouble found him. Shocking live video. During a live broadcast in Abuja, the head of Niger Delta Development Commission suddenly went still. He went eerily still out of nowhere with his eyes open, unresponsive. People rushed in, calling his name, trying to wake him, trying to make sense of something that had no warning signs. He later recovered physically, but mentally. Having something like this happen to you takes its toll. Not her mother. A girl woke up and saw her closet door slowly opening. Not a gust of air, not a bump. It just opened. She looked inside and saw her own mother, smiling in a way that didn't match her eyes. For a second, her brain tried to make it normal. Then she realized her mom was still in bed. The camera caught the girl freezing in place, because when you're a kid and something looks like your parent but isn't, your body doesn't know how to react. Strange man.
People walking through, but this is the guy that's possessed.
The following incident was captured in California, where people walked past a strange man outside a store. He stood there without moving, eyes flickering like he was watching something no one else could see. His mouth kept shifting, forming words that never came out. No one knew if he needed help or if getting close was a mistake. But recording a moment like this just proves how weird mundane days can get.
This is possessed. He's possessed. That's crazy.
Vanishing roadside. A motorcyclist slammed on the brakes after spotting a lone girl standing in the middle of the road. Before he could react, she vanished into thin air. The footage left him frozen, unsure what had just happened. Online viewers debated endlessly. Was it a ghost, a black-eyed child, or something else entirely? Let me know in the comments. Legless figure. A group of friends was joking around in a dim hallway when the laughter abruptly stopped. Something appeared in the background. A humanoid figure moving upright, but with no legs. Its torso hovering unnaturally. One friend noticed first, then the others, and panic set in instantly. They ran, leaving the hallway empty, the air heavy with fear. Later, no one could stop thinking about the impossible sight. A figure that defied everything they thought they knew about reality. Glowing visitor. The shop had already closed for the night when the camera picked her up outside the door. She stood there staring inside, pale face lit by the streetlight, eyes glowing in a way that did not look human. Her body moved in sharp, uneven motions, and her voice carried through the empty street. No one inside had known they were being watched until the footage got reviewed the next morning. Haunted stairwell. They had lived in the same apartment for months and never believed the rumors about strange activity. One night, while heading downstairs, they caught something on their building's camera without realizing it at the time. A dark, misty figure stood halfway up the stairs, blocking the path. The second they noticed it in real life, they ran. When they checked the footage later, the figure remained in place long after they fled. That was the moment the joke stopped. Mysterious footage. During a late break at a workplace lake, two co-workers stepped near the water. The security camera was pointed straight at them when suddenly one of them got pulled into the lake by something unseen. The second man rushed forward, tried to grab him, and failed. Seconds later, a dark shape rushed out of the water toward him at an unnatural speed. He barely escaped, but was fine in the end. To this day, it is not known what happened, but thankfully, it was caught on camera. Prayer possession. While leading an evening prayer, a man in the first row suddenly lost control of his body. As the verses were recited, the man writhed, curled into himself, and screamed as if something inside him had reacted to the sound. His movements looked forced, not emotional, like his body had turned into a cage. Worshippers froze, unsure whether to step in or step back. The recitation continued, and the man was now on the floor, shaking. Those who witnessed it later said the reaction only began once the verses started, which made the moment feel less like panic and more like something got exposed. Once the prayer ended, the man was fine, but he had no recollection of what happened. Sudden possession. This girl had been recorded by her friend during a normal afternoon, laughing and talking just seconds before her expression changed. Her mouth stretched wider than it should have, and her movements turned stiff and uneven, like her body had stopped following her thoughts. The shift happened without warning. The friend froze but kept recording, realizing the change had not been an act. The girl did not react to her name being called and seemed focused on something no one else could see. The clip ended with her slowly returning to herself. Ghostly classroom. A principal had been reviewing security footage when something caught his eye. The classroom door slowly opened on its own. A barefoot girl, dressed casually, walked in as if she belonged. She whispered, "Come," and suddenly snapped her head toward an unseen presence. Right then, a chair toppled across the floor. Without a word, she walked out. Rumors of a ghost girl in that school had circulated for years, but seeing it captured on camera made the story undeniable. This wasn't the first, and definitely not the last time something unexplainable had appeared in that room. Bathroom shadow. A man had just finished showering and was drying his hair when something in the mirror caught his attention. A dark, humanoid shape appeared behind him, moving closer as if it wanted to grab him. He lunged forward, barely escaping. Heart racing, he returned later to check the bathroom, but it was empty. Whatever had appeared that night had vanished completely, leaving only the memory of the chilling moment. Possessed? Late one night, security footage captured a robbery in progress. A man had been dragged to the ground when something unexpected happened. A dark figure rose from his body, confronting the thief in a way that made him stumble backward in sheer terror. The robber ran, leaving the other person there. Seconds later, the shadow returned to its original host. Whoever reviewed the clip later couldn't deny it looked like the man had been possessed or protected by something beyond explanation. Haunted corridor. A team of cleaners on the third floor of a nursing home froze when a door squeaked mysteriously behind them. Moments later, a loud bang echoed through the hallway, sending them running in fear. When security footage was later checked, faint, ghostly footsteps could be seen crossing the corridor. The strange movements left everyone unsettled and wondering who or what had been there. Flying jars. A man manning the cash counter at a quiet bar barely had time to react when glass jars suddenly flew off the shelf and shattered on the floor. He'd seen strange things like this happen before, but the crash that night felt different. Nothing or no one was near the shelves. So the question is, what's really going on there? Comment your answers down below. Viral now, fam. Elevator disappearance. Security cameras captured a woman stepping into an elevator alone, completely calm. Then the lights flickered, and the floor numbers disappeared from the display. Panic set in as she looked straight at the camera. Moments later, the doors opened to a pitch-dark floor, and she stepped out, never to be seen again. Now the official report says it was a mere mechanical glitch, but no one could explain why she vanished that night. And even if it was a glitch, there is nothing mere about that mechanical failure. Ritual recorded. Driving along a remote road, a man noticed a group of people completely covered in white, circling a fire. He didn't stop, but as he passed, they suddenly ran toward his car. He barely escaped. The scene left him rattled, wondering what kind of ritual he had just driven through, and why it had happened in that place at that time. Disturbance in church. Right before a church ceremony began, a staff member suddenly acted strangely. She moved aggressively near the altar, reaching toward a statue, and had to be restrained. Everyone watching felt the tension rise. Then, just as suddenly as it started, she calmed down, walked out quietly, and never explained what had happened. Those who saw it left convinced it wasn't random. Whatever it was, felt like a warning. Masked ritual. In Mexico, a group of friends was driving into the woods for a camping trip when something strange appeared on the road. A line of people, dressed entirely in white and wearing masks, stood silently, almost like part of some secret ritual. Without a word, they slowly shifted aside, creating a path for the car. The friends drove through, uneasy, feeling the weight of those unseen eyes on them. The way they moved didn't feel natural. Even after leaving the area, the memory stayed with them, a silent, unexplained presence in the woods that made them wonder what they had just witnessed. Haunted animatronics. A night security guard recorded something deeply unsettling after closing hours. He asked viewers to watch the animatronics closely, particularly their eyes. On the footage, the eyes appeared to move on their own, shifting subtly but unmistakably. He admitted this wasn't the first time he had noticed it. Many nights, he felt watched, as if something was aware of his presence. Some blamed mechanical quirks, but others felt there was more to it. The brief video left viewers uneasy, a quiet sense that whatever was in that room didn't belong entirely to the world of the living. Laughing dolls.
Hola. Hola. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Two security guards working late in a toy store captured something completely unexpected. As one called out, two boxed dolls suddenly started moving and laughing on their own. No one had touched them. The sound echoed through the empty aisles, making the moment deeply unsettling. Some viewers suggested mechanical faults, but others weren't convinced. The thought that someone might later buy these dolls added an extra layer of unease. Vanishing stranger.
Any kind of disturbance whatsoever.
While a police officer gave a calm interview, something odd happened behind him. A person walked into the frame, appearing normal at first, but then they never came out the other side. The officer paused mid-sentence, clearly confused. The camera captured it all. The figure slowly faded away, leaving viewers shocked. Many online argued it wasn't a glitch, but something deliberate, an interference no one could explain. The strange disappearance made the clip even more mysterious.
Any kind of disturbance whatsoever.
Cemetery shakes. In a Buenos Aires cemetery on 24th November 2025, a groundskeeper filming routine maintenance caught something strange. A gravestone began shaking uncontrollably on its own, without anyone near it. Some suggested lingering energy or restless spirits, while others thought it might be connected to the person buried beneath. The short clip spread online quickly, sparking countless debates. No one could explain the movement, and the cemetery remained quiet and still afterward. Hoya Baciu figure. A hunter set up a trail camera deep in Romania's Hoia Baciu forest, hoping to catch wildlife. Instead, the footage showed something far stranger. A white, humanoid shape moved rapidly across the frame, low to the ground, almost crawling. Its body seemed to fade in and out as it moved, and its motion wasn't like any animal or person. The hunter had no explanation for what he recorded, and viewers watching the clip felt a creeping unease. The forest, already famous for odd happenings, seemed to hide yet another unexplained presence. Pale visitor. Even a small village police station wasn't safe from strange sightings. Security footage captured a pale face slowly appearing at a window, staring inside. The skin was unnaturally white, unlike anyone normally seen. Some joked, but the officers admitted they had noticed this before. Locals said it was connected to a woman who had suffered greatly over her son's imprisonment, and that she still wandered near the station, hoping to see him free. The footage left everyone watching unsettled. Did that happen to you as well? Comment below. Misty intruder. At a police station in Chile, officers noticed unusual activity during night shifts. One evening, CCTV caught a door slowly opening on its own. Through the doorway passed a dark, mist-like shape. Moments later, a female officer calmly shut the door and left, apparently unaware of what had moved through. When the footage was reviewed, many viewers wondered if something unseen had been silently present in the station for far longer than anyone realized, quietly observing the officers while going unnoticed. Barbershop incident. Inside a quiet barbershop, CCTV captured a sequence that unsettled anyone watching. A cloth draped over a chair shifted, as if an invisible person had sat down, but no one reacted. Customers moved around normally, unaware. Then a mannequin head on a top shelf slowly turned, stopping to face the camera directly. The clip suggested something unseen was moving freely through the shop, watching everything as if it belonged there. Online viewers debated whether it was a random coincidence, or something far stranger quietly observing the mundane daily activity. Abandoned presence. Just outside a small town stood an abandoned house that locals avoided. A group of investigators set up cameras inside to see what might be there. Footage quickly proved unsettling. One camera caught glowing eyes belonging to a shape that couldn't be fully identified. Another showed a tall, thin figure gliding silently across a room. Its movements were unnatural, inhuman. Reviewing the footage, viewers agreed the house was far from empty. Something remained inside, and it didn't appear alone. The silent presence left a heavy, eerie feeling for anyone who dared to watch. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. On October 10th, 2016, around 9 p.m., in an apartment complex in Guangzhou, China, a shocking incident was caught on CCTV. A woman waiting for an elevator was approached by a man without her knowing he was right behind her. Something about him felt deeply wrong. Once the woman realized what happened, she screamed at the man who ran away. This footage was used to capture the man. It turned out he had followed her from 2 blocks away just to do this. He was sent to jail for 3 months. He truly didn't know a camera was recording, but in this